Many of us are in these spiritual communities and who are seeking spiritual content because we want to grow, and that's wonderful. And that intention is exactly what you need in order to grow. Some of us are in spiritual communities and seeking different kinds of content of the nature of consciousness and intuition because we feel that there's something lacking in our life. We feel that we need to understand a better formula for how we can manifest the material needs or the material desires. It doesn't really matter. Need, desire, put it all in the same bucket right now. Some of us look to the spiritual information font to understand how we can bring into our lives relationships. Whether they are partnerships, people are seeking love relationships and they wonder if they have a soulmate or a twin flame or whatever label is being ascribed to it in these different kinds of metaphysical and spirituality content orientations. Some of us are coming to it because we may have physical maladies or challenges or illnesses. All of these are valid reasons. First of all, I want to say that up front. But what I want to point out is that while it is wonderful to seek out others and to seek out teachers and to seek out communities, information, videos, podcasts, that is fantastic and it is very useful. It is all tools. And that everything that creates your reality and everything that is manifested and also potentially manifested, you already have it. The only thing that actually creates anything is you, is that which you already have in you now. And when we seek outside of it, it is actually, it's in a way, it's a paradox. It's actually a sort of a slower way to go about it. It's valid and it's a part of the journey and it's a part of the reason that we came down as spirit in physical form to seek without. But I want to talk to you about how literal the universe is. And the reason I want to talk about this is because it will illuminate the law of attraction, it will illuminate how to manifest, and it will also explain how you absolutely have everything that you need and that you are creating your reality and that you have everything you need to create a better reality, the one that you're reaching for, whatever one of those categories that it is. To whatever degree that you recognize you are reaching forward. If you're ill, if you're lonely, if you have a desire to be able to be a healer or an intuitive reader, but you feel that that's other people, it's not me, and I'm far from it. Whatever that degree of reaching that you're experiencing, everything that is your goal, everything that is basically, I always say Oprah, to become Oprah, you have that. If becoming Oprah is your desire. And you know what? She's going to become president and then we're going to need a new Oprah. So if any of y'all want to become Oprah, you could start working on it right now. I don't know if she's going to become president. It's just a joke. Anyway, so I want to talk about how literal the universe is. And what I mean by that is, we understand, probably anyone who's watching this has heard of, or even more, has a basic understanding of the law of attraction. And sometimes some of us, when we're starting to understand that, we feel that it just doesn't work. And it doesn't work for me, or I'm not getting it, I'm lacking somehow. And I think a fundamental flaw in how some of that information is delivered is that just actually what we call it, the law of attraction. Attraction means, let's say these are two magnets. This is attracting this. So that means that this needs something that's over here. and that it needs to bring something to it. So we're talking about duality, and we're saying, I need that to come over here. So attraction is kind of a fundamental flaw in how we view it because of the connotation of what we think of when we say attraction. We mean bring something that is incomplete in me into me. So I want to explain again how literal the universe is, how literal energy is. When we are pursuing something, let's call it pursuing, let's say we're pursuing a soulmate, our partner, a romantic partner. We're lonely. We're experiencing loneliness, or we're experiencing just the yearn for that partner. When we're in that place of feeling that we want them and that they aren't here, that person isn't here, we're actually activating the vibration of that person not being here. And so that is the reality. I'll give you another example. When we say, I want to open my third eye, I want to be able to see my spirit guides. I've been meditating, I go into meditation, and I'm in meditation for 45 minutes, and I'm asking, and I'm just begging, basically, and I can't see my spirit guides. That's just not for me. I don't know. I guess I'm going to give up because I can't see or hear or feel or perceive my spirit guides. Is my third eye open? I don't think my third eye is open. I really want to open my third eye. You see, all of that, I'm demonstrating for you, the vibration of all of that is the recognition of the fact that it's not open. It is the identification with the fact that third eye isn't open, I can't see my guides. So that is the vibration, that is the frequency, that is your reality. You see, it can feel a bit frustrating when we're not present with it. It feels frustrating, but I'm not. I don't have my partner, but I don't see my spirit guides. And the fact of the matter is, being able to feel the potential for it and experience the fact that you can. And now, how about that? If we shift the language from I can't see my spirit guides, I can't find my partner. No one's saying that you have to trick yourself into absolutely believing that there is someone sleeping in your bed next to you, that there's a physical person to where you're need to be committed. But you can feel the emotions of it. Rather than feeling the emotions of, I miss that person, there's no person there, you can feel the potential of it in a way that is, joyful, exciting, delicious, and you can celebrate the possibility, because the possibility holds open that door to receive. You can hold open your heart. You can say, I can experience and have a relationship with spirit guides or whatever it is. It is a possibility, and I can feel that potential in a way that is joyful. That would activate the vibration of opening the door for you. And the other way that we sort of get off track there is if we feel it for a moment and we return to the old vibration of feeling that we can't and that we don't and we don't have. Well, then we're going to get back into that and continue to bring that reality in. Now, I do have good news for you, though. You guys hear me talk about intention, and that we set an intention and we surround it with stillness, and we keep visiting that intention with our faith, with our belief. And the faith and belief is the sum of feeling the positivity of its reality. And so the feeling the positivity of its reality, of even if that reality is potential, is much more powerful than the times that you feel its lack. However, often we spend a lot more time feeling its lack than feeling its potential or the reality of it. So I'm just going to call potential reality, because if it's potential, that means it's going to happen, And in truth, highest truth, time is an illusion. So it happens. It's existing. If it has potential, it's existing. So I'll just call potential reality. Visiting it regularly, though, will start to change your frequency little by little. And your frequency is the summation of what you are vibrating. Vibrating, meaning, essentially, a way to look at it is your emotional broadcast, or your feeling broadcast. Emotion is not exactly the right word, because emotions seem to be attributed to the lower sensing forms of like sadness and anger. That's kind of a part of it, but I'm talking more about the feeling nature. In the feeling nature, in that higher sense of feeling nature, we have our thoughts, our beliefs, and our emotions. All of those together kind of create this higher feeling nature. Now, beliefs, I want to clarify that a little bit too. Abraham Hicks says it perfectly. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And that belief is happening in your conscious mind and in your unconscious mind. So we all know we have scripts running all the time, right? And the idea is to be able to shift those scripts to something that is more aligned to who you really are, which is divinity, which is love, which is beauty. And then to actually quiet them, to be able to put them down whenever we like as well. And that is the benefit of meditation. One of the benefits, but one of the huge, huge benefits. So the good news is that the times that we do visit the intention or the reality, in the timelessness of it being physicalized yet or not, that is much more potent than the times that we are not, when we're recognizing its lack and we're identifying to that. But again, generally speaking, we're experiencing its lack much more. So it's kind of like if you talk about, this is totally arbitrary, completely arbitrary. So hear me, this is arbitrary, this is not literal, I'm not saying this is actually the truth, but let's just, for the sake of us figuring things out in an analytical sense, let's say that one visitation and identification upon the potential reality or the reality of that which you desire and experiencing its truth is 100 times stronger than one time of experiencing its lack. Again, don't take that literally. This is just an illustration. So let's say it is 100 times stronger than that one time of the hollow, the untrue experience, the one that is not aligned with who you really are, which is to have the partner, have your third eye open, or be doing your healing business, to be abundant. But you probably, or oftentimes, I don't want to say you probably or we, what if you think this 1,000,000 times? You know what I mean? To the one time. You see how that's just a kind of silly way to look at it. That is way too small compared to really how the universe works. I'm actually trying to show you that the good news is the faith is much more potent than the lack of faith. And so that's a great thing. So you see how you have absolutely everything that you need right now? Because that potential, that alignment, that desire, and that love exists in you, and it is the only truth that is. So you have everything that you need in order to align with your partner. You just need to activate that vibration, that frequency. You just need to identify with it several moments, let's say throughout the day. Again, this is just arbitrary to give you an idea of some way to ground it into an experience of day-to-day life. You have everything that you already need. And I wanted to share with you, I was inspired when Crystal Ann Compton was on my show Charmed Life on just this past Sunday. And Crystal and I both come from evangelical Christianity, and that was how our early spirituality was shaped. Actually, the way that I connect to my intuitive guidance, to my inner being guidance, the way I do that now as a psychic and woo, all that kind of stuff, or whatever, as an intuitive, it feels exactly the same as it did when I was 16, 17 years old and I was on fire for the Lord when I was in evangelical Christianity, because the fact of the matter is that system worked for me for a while. Again, not because of the system, but because I had everything that I needed to be connected to my inner being, the truth of who I am, the truth of who I was. That system, that tool was superfluous. And so it just was the paradigm that I had before me, and it afforded me, I used it as a tool to go within. Anyway, so when Crystal was on my show this past Sunday, and we got to talking about Jesus a little bit, and I don't exactly remember how, but you guys know that I am animal communicator, I'm a nature communicator and healer. I am a prophet for Gaia, prophet in the sense of being a teacher, not like a predictor, a fortune teller, a future predictor, that kind of stuff. I mean the prophet as in a teacher. And I say that not boastfully. I say that as a servant, that this is something that I have endeavored to take that mantle upon myself, to be a teacher of Gaia energy, of all of her inhabitants, and how she is our mother and a very important spirit guide to us. So when Crystal and I were talking on Sunday, I mentioned that Jesus taught us with nature. He taught in the scripture as such that it is. I say that because it's been edited and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't really matter. That Jesus taught a lot from nature. Jesus knew the law. He knew the law of the Hebrew law. He knew it really well, and that's reflected in some of the scripture too, saying that he was a child and that he could have conversations with the teachers of the law. But what he did when he was with the people, what he did that actually changed hearts and minds and realities, he actually talked to them of nature. Why? Because they understand nature. Because we are nature. The human being is nature. And so it is calling to your understanding yourself, the truth of who you are. And you can look at, again, a tool like a flower and understand absolutely everything about the universe. You really can. Everything about yourself, because in your purest form, you are just like the butterfly. I say that, and I'm actually wearing a t-shirt that says, I'm going to show it to you. I don't know if you can see it. It says, "My guru is a butterfly." It's a t-shirt that actually I made, and I made that because I had a conversation with a couple of butterflies, and telepathically, and learned a universal concept that no one had ever taught me before by having a conversation with the butterflies. So you see, Jesus was showing these people that they had everything that they needed. They didn't need to be more articulate. They didn't need to have more money or gold, silver, whatever they had at the time. They didn't need to be studied in the law. And this is actually part of what he was persecuted for by the teachers. This is why many of the teachers, actually what those discussions with the arguments that he had with the teachers of the law in the temples, was because he knew the law really well, and he was looking at the love inside the law. And many of those teachers were not. They were looking at the shell of things. And Jesus was saying, no, there is love here, and it's the only thing that matters. And when he was with the people, and he was out there and he was teaching them, and he was talking to them about mountains and mustard seeds and lilies of the field, and he wasn't talking to them about the law the way the teachers would expect him to. They say, this man has great power. He is a great teacher. Perhaps many call him, he is the Messiah, perhaps some say, because they expected a Messiah to be changing their reality. The stars had told them that would happen. And they looked at him and they say, but he knows and what pissed them off, what pissed off the teachers, because they knew he knew the law and he wasn't teaching it to them. Because he said, I don't need to teach them about the law. What they need, all they need, the only thing that's in the law that matters is love, so I will show them how they are love right now. And I'll show them by talking about a flower. And I'll show them by talking about the seed of a flower. And I'll show them by telling them that their faith healed them. That's what I talked about last week. You see, he was showing them that they have everything that they needed already because they are nature. And he wasn't going out there, like I say, and telling them about some dusty things and saying you need these facts and you need to understand this. No, he was out there having an experience with these people. He was holding space with them so they could feel. And when they did that, he was able to actually manipulate, not he, but they would hold space together and the reality would change. They would have instantaneous physical healings, and they called that miracles. And they would have changes in the social construct by him regarding a woman who had been discarded by society, and they called that heresy, because that was against what is clean and what is unclean. And he said, all that is clean is love. And you are love, and we are love. And you are all gods, because the only thing that a God is love. And you are love, and I am love, and we have everything that we need in this moment. And it is enhanced by us coming together, as long as that intention is to awaken and get into the truth of your being, which is love, to identify with it. There's nothing that makes us more alive, vulnerable, inspired than feeling love for ourselves. When someone shows us love, when you do have the experience of being in the presence of an angel, when you have the experience of being in the presence of a beloved animal, and you feel that love radiating at you, it's because you're loved, and it shows you that you are love, and you feel that you're worthy of love. That is what brings you to tears. That is what brings you to inspiration. And so you have that right now, because it's all about you experiencing the truth of who you are, which is love. And so that love, directing it right back into yourself and feeling it deeply. I actually would love for all of you to try this practice that I think I've been practicing it for about 6 or 10 months. I can't remember exactly. But you can actually, if you can turn off that lower mind chatter, take your attention off of it, and feel for your authentic voice. Your authentic voice is the one that tells you that you're beautiful, and that you're talented, and that your intentions are lovely and pure. And you can feel, for me, I hear that voice, I hear it as my own voice. And so when I experience it, I'm stricken, because it's my own voice with my own feeling telling me how wonderful I am. And the other part about it that's amazing is that I know that I know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the best witness of me. You know, someone else, my mother or my friend, tells me that I'm lovely and smart or whatever, I can discount that, because I'm like, yeah, well, you're not with me all day long, and you don't hear what goes on in my head, and you haven't seen me screw things up royally. But see, I am me. So if I hear my own voice telling me how loved I am, can you all feel that right now? Can you take a moment with me? Take a breath. And just feel. Feel into your heart center. Feel that. Say, I am love. If you can, repeat after me and say, I am beauty. I am talented. I am intelligence. I am intelligent. I love this person that I am. Say it to yourself. Say, I love you. I love you. I love you because you are divine. I love you because you are truth. I love you because you are power. I honor your desires. I know they are treasures to be given out into this experience and to be had by me. I know. I feel them. I honor them. And I drop all of my doubts in this moment. And I say, I partner with you, the divinity of me. And I partner and I say, I believe in your light. I believe in my light. I believe in those desires. I believe in those intentions. And I partner my intention to allow them to unfold, to allow myself to receive from the cooperative components of the universe, from divinity, from all of those personalities and consciousnesses of nature and divine, of God, of angels, of any supportive helpers, and I open my mind, my higher mind, to be recalibrated in this moment, to be cleaned out of things that no longer serve me. And I say thank you for the experience of having had them. And I honor myself for having had them, and I release them in this moment so that I can manifest, so that I can receive. I receive blessings unto myself because it is divine to do so. So, if you are struggling with any of these things, if you're struggling with loneliness, if you're struggling with desires that are unmanifested, if you're struggling with experiencing a lack of abundance, if you're struggling with feeling malady in your body, come very present and know that while that is true, we do not discount it. There is a higher truth, which is your wellness. Potential reality is reality. And there is breath. There is the gift of breath, so you can celebrate this and say, I am well, and I receive, obviously, clearly, by the act of receiving breath in every moment. I have faith, and I have wellness. I am love, so love is coming to me and is with me. So the highest truth is that I am love, and so I have love. The highest truth is that I am well, that I am inseparable from abundance, because the universe is abundance, that I am inseparable from health, because nature is health, and I am health, and I am nature. So have those moments while the struggle in one perspective is true, switch to the other perspective. And that is how you have everything that you need to experience that life, to experience the life that is already with you. That's how literal the universe is. That will work. And then visit upon it many times. Write it down if you need some way to remember that feeling of that wellness and that fulfillment and that abundance, because then you can visit upon it again later, and it will tune up that vibration. You don't have to be concerned with how do I clear blocks and blah, blah, blah. Forget about that. Because love is the only thing that really is, and it will shine a light on any of those contrary beliefs and those contrary experiences in the mind. And just the love will outseat them. You know what I mean by that? It will just, there won't be room for it anymore. And love is so much more powerful than the lack of love. But ask the animals, and they will teach you. Or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you. Or speak to the earth, and she will teach you. Or let the fish of the sea inform you. And you are the earth herself. And you are one with the fish and the birds. And you have the freedom that they experience, that they don't spin and toil, and neither do you have to. Because you are unconditioned, you are non-judgment, and you are whole.